It's 5:50 a.m. Monday morning. It's a sad day. We got to drive home today. Got the car over here. It was plugged in overnight so that it can be charged to 100% this morning. Obviously, we scheduled the charge to be at 100% by 5:30, and it just stopped charging here a couple minutes ago. Or actually, it shows charge complete. There we go, 17.29 kilowatt hours we put in. A little tight in this parking lot. Let's see if we can squeeze in here. Here we go. Shows 100%. Alright. Which is good, it's preheated, so it's all great. Now let's see here real quick. Display. Distance translates to 234 miles rated range. Ideal, that would be 271 miles. So if we're going by rated at 234, we're just about 90% of battery capacity if we look at that. But that said, this is not really giving an accurate indication of our battery degradation or anything. These numbers kind of go up and down, so now we would have to completely, or as much as possible, discharge the battery, then charge it to full again and actually see how much we could put in. Then we could calculate about where we're at in regards to battery degradation. But looking at this, we're just about around 100%. The car is rated at 265 miles range with the 19-inch wheels. This car has the 21-inch wheels, so it will get a little less right off the bat. I'm not sure if that is accounted for. The car does know which wheels we have on, because in a Tesla you put that in there. So I'm not sure if that is accounted for or not. There is many things that go into this number that shows up on the dash, and that's why I just usually use percentages instead of the miles, because they're not a true miles that you can drive. So, and in general, as we travel, we use the navigation, and that gives us the best indication of how far we can travel. And today, let's see here, today we're trying, let's see if it's here, see if we can get to the Dalles Supercharger, the Dalles. Let's go there. Let's bring this away here. Let's go away. There we go. Let's see what it comes up with. The Dalles. So according to this right now, we could reach the Dalles with 15%. And come down here. There we go. 15% to the Dalles, which that sounds about right. We are at 100% charge, so I think we're shooting straight for the Dalles, which is I think over this way. Let's see, can we get, oh, there's the ocean, that's the black spot there. So we're right there, and there's Portland, and over here, this I believe is the Dalles here. Isn't that what it is? No, that's Sandy, Oregon. Oh, here's the Dalles. There we go. It's even further. So we're going from here through Portland and over there. So in case we run low, there's one here, and one there that we could get to if needed, but I think we're shooting for the Dalles and for the 15%. And then from here we gotta make it up to Kennewick right there, so we gotta get 80+% there to make it to Kennewick. From Kennewick we hope to shoot for Spokane, skip the Ritzville right there, go from right here to there, and in Spokane we need to pick up our Model 3 to take it back home. And then from Spokane we'll see. Important is that we get to Spokane before they close. That's why we're starting so early. I hope to be there no later than 3 p.m. Pacific time. So now we gotta load up. We got a bunch of stuff. Obviously, again, 5 people, 4 adults and a 13-year-old kid with luggage we gotta put in here, and then we're ready to roll. We arrived in the Dalles, Oregon. We got 15% left, so we made it easy going this way. If you remember, going towards Seaside, we did an additional stop. Coming back now, we knew where we're going, and so we didn't get the extra 10% or so that we charged up at another charger, because going there we went into the dark through the woods on Highway 26 that we didn't know, but coming here we were fully aware of where we're going, how it's gonna be, and what the options are for charging or going slower. And the weather was really good. It is nice out, it's nice and sunny, and I got a volunteer to clean the windshield here, so that's even better. So yeah, we did pretty good. There was no wind this time coming up this way, so we were cruising really good there at the bottom, trip B. So we got 163.6 miles at 328 watt-hour per mile coming here, and we used 53.7 kilowatt hours. So now here, let's see, from here we need to go to, oops, we're going to, oh, where is it? Let's zoom in here some. Let's get the superchargers up. Come on, it is a little slow. Let's turn this around so we know where we're at. There we go. Okay. Maybe. Where are we here? Which one's this? There we go. Kennewick, Washington. It's 106 miles, it says. There we go. So, and it gives us an estimated charge time of 45 minutes right now. And currently we will get there with minus 55%. So we got 15 left. So we need 60-70% minimum to get there with 0. So we're probably going to charge to about 80% to have about 10% safety in there, which, yes, 45 minutes sounds about right. This car is a slow charger. The 2013s charge really slow. So we'll plug in right now and we'll see how many kilowatts we can get. So let's see here. All right, it's going slow. Where is it here? I heard the click finally on the rear seat. There we go, we're ramping up. And so the setting is set to 100%. But we don't really need 100%. We're only getting 61 kilowatts, not very much at all. I was hoping we would at least start at 80. But yeah, these classics, they're just slow chargers. So, but the good thing is, it is 9:28 a.m. and we had a little bite to eat at 5 a.m. or so. So we'll go and have actual breakfast right now, and that will take about 45 minutes to an hour anyway. So the charger is not busy at all this morning. We're the only ones here now, which is kind of unusual, I guess. I don't know. Maybe we usually got here in the afternoon and it's always super busy. Anyway, we are at 84% now. Just had breakfast, so I'm stuffed. But about 5 minutes ago or so, it was ready to go for travel. Let's see, it gives us 10% to spare in Kennewick at this point, so we're doing all right. And the car is ready to go with us here. Let's look real quick. So we got 129 miles to go. Should be able to do that in just about 2 hours. And get there with now 11%. As we're gaining, we're still plugged in. Still waiting for my passengers to show up. And as soon as they get here, we'll get going. And so, one of the things, we're not getting necessarily great mileage, but remember, first of all, this is a 2013, so it is basically 8, almost 9 years old, and we are 5 people in here, and we have luggage with us. So basically we filled up the frunk and we filled up the trunk, so there's a lot of weight in this car, which weight is always bad for range as well as for mileage in an ICE car. But we're doing pretty decent. So we're gonna shoot up to the Kennewick charger and probably spend another 40 minutes there roughly, I guess, so that we can make it to Spokane, where we will pick up our Model 3 and as well stop at the Supercharger to get a little juice in there, and then maybe hop from there to Coeur d'Alene to Superior and home. Make a few more stops and keep it maybe a little lower in the state of charge area there, so that we can charge a little faster and hopefully get home relatively quick. So just waiting on the passengers and then we get going. We are in Kennewick, Washington, arrived here with 21%, actually about 6% more than it predicted initially. We've been doing pretty good. There was no high winds, so that saved a lot of energy. We've been cruising still at about 328 watt-hours per mile average on this return trip. We are 293.6 miles into it. The drive from the Dalles to Kennewick was 130 miles and we used 327 watt-hours per mile, so we did pretty good. So now we'll be charging here, and next we need to make it to, let's see what we got here. Need to make it to Spokane. There we go. So an estimated charge time of 45 minutes. It says arrival currently in Spokane minus 52%. We got 21, so that would be 73% minimum. So we need 80% basically to get going here. So let's get plugged in. We are plugged in. And we're waiting for the clunk. There it was. And here we go. So 40 minutes remaining. Let's see how high up we can get here. $101 for a second, and now we're dropping down to 94, 93, and it's already dropping pretty quick. These classics just drop super quick, unfortunately. We're only at 22%, but it's already in the 80s and still dropping, unfortunately. Would be nice if we could hang there for a while so we don't have to wait too long, but I guess it's time for a walk or something, since I'm not hungry again. So right now it is 12:49 and we got 40 minutes, so it'll be about 1:30-ish before we get going here. We're all done charging here in Kennewick. We got 132 miles to go, about 2 hours. Estimated arrival almost 4 o'clock. Right now it's 1:58 and we should be arriving with 12% left. The car actually was done about 10 minutes ago with about almost 7% less than that. So we are at 89%. The car would have let us go at about 82 or 83%. So let's get going to Spokane. So we arrived at the Spokane Supercharger. We now have a total of 427.2 miles, used 143.6 kilowatt hours, and the average went up to 336 watt hours per mile. We got 15% left right now. And let's see here. We gotta go pick up the car at the service center here in Spokane, and then we gotta make it to Coeur d'Alene. And so right now we will get there with minus 1%, it says. So we need a little charge. So we have to spend a few minutes here to make the 39 miles to the charger with the detour to the service center. So let's get charging. So let's see see what it's going to do. Ramping up. Oh, we're going over 100. 119, and now we're dropping again. Oh, it's pretty good. It's actually staying somewhat decent. So this shouldn't take very long if it stays up like that. We'll make sure we have 10% to spare to make it to Coeur d'Alene. Alright, we just charged a few minutes, went to the bathroom real quick. It is 4:13 now. According to this, we should arrive with 13% in Coeur d'Alene. We'll have a little detour as we have to go to the service center. But we are at 32% right now. And the service center is not far off, so it shouldn't be an issue. Alright, we made it to Coeur d'Alene. We stopped at the service center in Spokane, got the Model 3. There's all the people, and over there's the Model 3. The Model 3 is pretty much full. Got like 85% or so. But here we go. Let's see here. We got 14%. And well, we were cruising good since last charge. Only 275 watt-hours per mile. That was at the Spokane Supercharger. So we did 41.6 miles since. So now here, obviously we lost some time. It's 5:33 now. We lost quite a bit of time at the service center. Now we need to get to probably Superior Supercharger. Let's do this. Let's see what it says. Estimated charge time is 35 minutes. Currently we will get to Superior at 41, minus 41%. So we'll have a little break here. We need to go look around. I believe this is a Golden Corral that's closed. There's a Buffalo Wild Wings over there. Oh, and there's another one coming. So, well, it'll be slow charging either way. Let's see how much we're actually getting here. So let's plug in and we'll go from there. So let's see here. Let's see, maybe. Waiting for the clunk. There was the clunk. Clunk comes from under the seat. It's one of the contactors closing. I hope we can get hopefully at least 80 and stay up there a little bit. Oh heck, 72, that's it. Well, we got this other guy next to us that just pulled in and plugged in as well. So 72 is probably all we get, because I think we're sharing. I'm not 100% sure because the layout here is a little different. Since there's one charger over that way, but all the others are back here. So I'm gonna have to go look at the numbers, how it is. But we'll see. 72 kilowatts, that is it. I think we're sharing with the Model X next to us. So we got 35 minutes. We better go for a little walk or something. If we decide to go, maybe have some food somewhere, maybe we charge even higher and possibly could make it home with just a little top off in Superior. So we'll see. It was a long break waiting for dinner at Buffalo Wild Wings. So we are up to 92%. And so we are going to Superior and expect to be there with 33%, and then we'll top off a little bit just to make it home on the safe side. So we got 109 miles to go to Superior, and we will have to get over Lookout Pass to do so. Also, it has gotten a little darker outside, so we'll have the lights on and so on and so forth, and the temperature is dropping. We are now probably, well, here it still shows 70, but that is because the car was sitting and charging. Now it just dropped to 69. It's probably about 60 degrees out, so the heat will be going a little bit. But so we got another hour and 48 minutes to go, leaving here at 7:04, so we should be in Superior just before 9, and then will be another about half an hour or so to get home. We are in Superior, 110 miles since last charge at 330 watt-hours per mile. That's not too bad. And we got 34% left. Unfortunately, our navigation is stuck out in the boonies somewhere. So currently we are in nowhere according to this. So we'll try a reset here, but we're not too far from home. The 34%, we probably could make it, but we'll just plug in here. Everybody had to go to the bathroom anyway. Over here we got the Model 3. The Model 3 was at 100% in Coeur d'Alene. Got like 50% left. So, but the Model S is a little thirstier, and it was not quite at 100%. So we'll give it a little extra. Let's see here if we can get something going. Hopefully. Waiting for the clonk. There it was. Oh, maybe not. Yep, there it is. Now we're ramping up. Let's see here. We're doing pretty good. 80 kilowatts. That's not too terrible. Okay. So we'll give it probably 10 minutes or so. Like 10%. 45-50%, somewhere in there. We should be fine to make it home easily. On the safe side. Between here and home, there is not much at all. And we're going out in the boonies, so we want to make sure we got plenty to make it. So we'll give it yeah, about 10%. I did a scroll wheel reset, but that did not solve the issue. We can see here we're still stuck in the boonies somewhere, not anywhere near Superior. So if I use the navigation, nothing happens really, because yeah, I can't calculate from where it is to where we're going anyway, so we would just get false information. But we are about 40 miles from home, and we are already up to 49%. Let's bring up the charge screen real quick here. So we're down to 54 kilowatts there. We added 11 kilowatts real quick here in about 10 minutes or so. So we'll get going here, unplug, and just drive home. We just reached 50% there, so we'll be totally fine to make it. We're home, 43.2 miles from Superior, 355 watt-hours per mile. That went up a bit because it is an 80-mile-an-hour speed limit. Oh, it just went to 28. I think it was at 26 when we got here. but we already plugged in. So we're charging here at home at 9 kilowatts, which is the 40 amps right there. That's what we're set up here for. And we're still set to 100%. So let's bring this down. Let's see. Tomorrow we got a couple things going, so let's maybe set it, yeah, about 75. It's getting dark in here too. So we got her there at about 75%. So we'll charge it up to that. So now let's see here what all we got. Let's bring this up. Trips. There we go. So trip B there is 622.5 miles. That was all today. That's from Seaside all the way to here back home in Montana. We used a total of 206.9 kilowatt hours. So we went through the battery a little over 3 times basically, at a average of 332 watt hours per mile. Not too bad. Trip A at 1700 that's the one that I forgot to reset, but basically trip B times 2, so that's about 1250 miles, is going to Seaside and driving back, plus driving around in Seaside. We probably had another 250 to 300 miles. So trip A is giving us about an average for the entire trip of 328 watt hours per mile. That's probably pretty accurate right there. So not bad at all. So with this one we are always above 300, while the Model 3 is just floating around 300 average. The Model S floats around 330 average. Driving on the interstate with the Model S uses in Montana with the 80 mile an hour speed limit, uses quite a bit of power. In Washington and Oregon with the lower speed limits, we're doing much better. But that said, driving along the Columbia River there, going to Seaside, we had a lot of high winds and mostly headwind. That brought the average up quite a bit. But overall, I would say, I guess, yeah, about 330 to 350-ish is what we gotta account for, watt hours per mile in the Model S here. Probably the worst part of this car is how slow it charges. It is just pretty darn slow. It goes up. The highest I've seen so far, I believe, was 117 for a second, and then it dropped again way down, and it's been mostly around 80 and then dropping relatively quick. So especially on that stretch that we've been driving here, it is between the Dalles, Kennewick and Spokane. There's the Ritzville Supercharger in between that could maybe do a little bit, but yeah, it's not really in a halfway place. It's pretty close to Spokane, and I think it's like just 50 miles or so. Not really enough to really necessarily stop, and it's a little it's just a little difficult stretch to drive, because you pretty much have to stop for 45 minutes to an hour, and 3 times in a row for an hour is a lot if you're only driving about 2 to 3 hours in between. So it makes it a little difficult on that route. Others may be better. If you drive in an area with more superchargers, you can do more frequent stops and keep the state of charge lower, so you can actually charge faster and just get it up to where you need to be to make it to the next supercharger. Here on this trip, it becomes a little difficult, and so there's usually 1 out of the 3 stops here was kind of boring, where we just kind of had to hang out a little longer than we really wanted to. But then that said, we stopped a couple extra times for bathroom breaks too on top of that. So it's not necessarily that we just had to stop for the car to charge. We also had to stop additional on top of these stops for additional bathroom breaks. So yeah, it is a long trip, 622 miles in one day. Is a long trip. We encountered a little bit of traffic in Portland, and then following the Columbia River, there was an accident there, so there was some traffic there that slowed us down. And picking up the car in Spokane, the Model 3, that took some time, obviously. Going into the service center, talking to people and so on and so forth. And then, as always, you know, when you talk Tesla, you get sidetracked, right? And so that took a little longer than we wanted to, probably. We probably spent like an hour there on top of the charging stops. And then we lost an hour because we came back into the mountain time zone from the Pacific. So all of a sudden, 9 p.m. turned into 10 p.m. And now it is here in the mountain time zone. It's 11:13, which means we're looking at basically 10:13 Pacific, and we pretty much had Pacific times until we have Pacific time until Superior. Superior was the first time when we actually seen mountain time, so that's when it jumped an hour as we came over Lookout Pass to Montana. So now it's a little bit late and it's time to go to bed. Overall, pretty happy with the traveling in this car. 5 people, trunk full, so we had lots of luggage, we had lots of weight. We did pretty good. It was comfortable enough for 5 people. That's another important factor. There's enough leg room in the back. The car is wide enough that 3 people can sit back there relatively comfortable. So overall, that is great. For traveling, this car has free supercharging. This is one of the early ones, and so it has free supercharging, so we didn't pay anything for charging at all. That is the coolest thing ever. So yes, it's free supercharging, but it's a little slower. So yeah, still I think we like this car for traveling. We just got to plan a little extra time compared to the Model 3. The Model 3 is a much faster traveler, just mainly because it is more efficient and it is a faster charger. This here is less efficient and a slow charger. So if you consider buying a classic Tesla S like this one, you may want to consider, if you're traveling, that it will take longer to charge. If you're using it as a daily driver and you charge at home overnight, that's not even an issue. That's no issue whatsoever. Wouldn't bother anybody. It's just for traveling. So pretty good car. 200,000 miles almost now. Can't see it anywhere. What the heck? I think we're at about 196,000 miles. Found a new issue with the GPS, that the car goes out into the boonies. That happened I think 2 times on this trip. So we need to look into what's going on with the GPS here. which may be an MCU issue, which we possibly already have an MCU issue with the speakers, so maybe we just need to upgrade to an MCU too. But we'll see. That is for another time, for another video. Now it's bedtime. Thank you for watching. I appreciate everybody that has subscribed to our channel. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our channel. There is only about 40% of the viewers are subscribed. Please subscribe. If this is your first video, you can subscribe. If this is your second or more video that you're watching, definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. And also don't forget to give us a thumbs up for this video and all the other videos that are coming and all the other videos that you're going to watch. In any event, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.